Hello, hello, hello. What is going on? I'm Alexandra Harbushka. I'm founder of Life With Herpes. I'm excited to be live with you today. I don't know what's going on with my hair. I need to re-braid it. Anyways, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been a minute since I have been live, just working on some new things. But if you are new to watching a live with me, this is your opportunity to ask your questions about what it's like living with herpes. So if you have HSV1, HSV2, if you have oral herpes, genital herpes, if you're dating, if you're disclosing, if you just were diagnosed with herpes, how to disclose you have herpes, all these things. So this is an opportunity for you to ask your questions. If you are familiar with being live with me, you know that I get hundreds of questions, and it is there's a bug in my tea. I get hundreds of questions, so I do my best to go in the order in which it has been received. So if you have questions that are pressing about living with herpes, what it's like to disclose and things of that nature, go on ahead and ask your questions now. I'm going to do something with my hair while we're here because this is pretty embarrassing. Earlier today on our support group call, I was being asked lots of questions about lysine and arginine. So what's the difference between lysine? What's the difference between arginine? How does that impact living with herpes? How does that impact outbreaks? How does that impact, what roles does it play? So something that we can look at is there are two essential amino acids. These are proteins that are essential for us to live. It's just as humans. They're the building blocks of our muscles, our bones, our skeletal system, all that. When we look at herpes specifically, there's one that feeds it. It's called arginine. Arginine is really good for cardiovascular health. It's good for vascular health. However, it feeds the herpes virus, meaning it allows it to replicate, meaning that it replicates at a faster level. So that's not something we want when it has to do with herpes, obviously. We don't want it to replicate. We don't want more herpes outbreaks. So by taking something or by looking at the opposite side, there is lysine. So lysine is another essential amino acid. It is a protein, and that actually helps block the replication of the herpes virus. So by taking lysine or supplementing lysine in our diet, whether it's through the actual foods or through supplements, for example, these supplements right here, these are the supplements right here. By adding these to your diet, you can help lessen the frequency of herpes outbreaks, speed up the recovery if you have a herpes outbreaks, lessen the severity of a herpes outbreaks. There's lots of studies done on that. So that's something that's really important that I like to talk about, especially if you're newly diagnosed or you're dealing with herpes outbreaks. So it's something I take daily, and it's something that I talk to my community about that they take daily as well. Guys, if you have herpes, if you are someone that's dealing with herpes or you know someone that's had herpes, definitely share this information, share this page with somebody. I am here just to support people living with herpes, educate, and help break the stigma. So definitely share. I appreciate the follows. I love the hearts, so thank you. I saw a question about what supplements. So it's called Lysine. This is what I take daily. It's by Natural Cure Labs. I do have a link in the bio for you that you can look at. It is 10% off. So if you click the link in the bio, you can get 10% off. It's pretty affordable. It's like $20, give or take. Could be 19, could be 21, but it's affordable. Again, I take this daily, and it definitely helps with the prodrome and things of that nature. Anyone have any questions about dating, disclosing? That's been another hot topic in my support group recently. We just had someone who joined, she joined at the end of the year, last year in 2022, got herpes, was devastated, obviously, as we all are when we're first diagnosed. And turns out she ended up disclosing to someone that she has been talking to for a while, and he has it too. So we're really excited about that for both of them. And so it's something that I just want us to be aware that when we come to disclosing, when we come to having these conversations, I want us to remember that other people have things they need to disclose as well. So everybody has something they need to disclose, whether it's herpes, whether it's something else going on in his or her life, they need to disclose that. So, you're welcome. So something I like to discuss when disclosing, it's something that we don't need to disclose unless we're going to expose. So let me say that again. You do not need to disclose unless you're going to expose. So if you're going on a date and have no idea if you have any intentions of being with this person, hooking up with this person, and you're just on the date, having a good time, out for coffee, ice cream, dinner, whatever, drinks, whatever it is, there's no need to disclose. I would recommend disclosing if you anticipate, if you feel, if something is going to happen with this partner. So if you're like, man, I see the potential here, I want to go to the next level, that's when you disclose. But if you're just out for drinks, there's no reason to disclose, right? So when does that happen? When you decide you're ready to be intimate with this person, that could be that same date, that could be 3 months later, it could be 6 weeks later, it could be 3 dates later, it doesn't really matter. Everyone's going to be different. It's when you have the umbrella conversation about sexual health. Hey, let's talk about this. I like where this is going. I want to be intimate with you. I don't know if you intend to be intimate with me. I like where this is going. If this is the case, it's important that we go get tested. It's important that we talk about this. It's important that we talk about our sexual health. Getting tested may not be important to you. You may be like, whatever, I'll take the risk. But if that's something that's important to you, then that's a conversation we need to have. And it just goes something like this. Hey, I've been tested recently. I'm negative for these things. I'm positive for HSV. It's important we have this conversation. Here's what I'm going to do to prevent transmission. Are you familiar with HSV? And let's just go from there. Are you a bad person to not tell the person if you have no outbreaks and using protection? I wouldn't say you're a bad person. There's no good, bad, evil, wrong, right? However, transmission can still occur even if you are using protection and even if there are no outbreaks. So I wouldn't say you're a bad person. I would just say that potentially you're unaware that transmission can still occur. So 70% of transmissions occur without an outbreak. So that's really unfortunate to know that. It's this thing called asymptomatic shedding. So the virus sheds, so it's called viral shedding, and majority of the times it's asymptomatic. The host, me, you, whoever, has no signs, has no symptoms, has no awareness that they are actually contagious. The other thing about using protection is you may be infected in other areas. So for myself, I get outbreaks on my tailbone. We could use all the protection in the world. My tailbone is still exposed. So that's why it's important to still disclose. And I would say put your shoe on the other foot. Would you want to know if that person had something that they could potentially transmit to you? I'd want to know. I would hope that person would be honest with me. But there's just a lot of ways to look at it. If it is something that is a one-night stand, there is risk, like period, the end, right? And so if that's something you're okay with, everyone has their own threshold of okayness. If that's something you're okay with, then that's your okay. I just like to say put your shoe on the other foot and look at it. Personally, I believe in disclosure. I believe when the truth comes out. I believe that it's important to give the person their choice, their opportunity. But would I say you're a bad person? No, you're not a bad person. Kenzie said she told her boyfriend and he was loving and caring. That's great. I'm glad. See, it's a thing that we want to be on the same page. We don't always know where that relationship is going to go. I wish that for my son. It's so hard. I don't know where that came from. How do you forgive? Am I missing something? Maybe they're not coming in. I told my ex when we broke up, he yelled out in public, I was so embarrassed. Well, good riddance, right? Like, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry that he embarrassed you in public, but good riddance. That's clearly a red flag that it's not somebody we want to be with. A lot of times these red flags are present within the first couple hours of spending time with someone. I mean, first couple hours, like, it's going to be a while before you spend 48 hours with this person, right? And you may, by the time you've spent 48 hours with this person, couple days with this person, you'll discover red flags. And we are romantics. We try to overlook it. We try to say, oh, it'll change. No, it's not going to change if we see red flags up front. And so I'm sorry that you had to see that when you broke up, but that's a really good reason to see, like, hey, this is someone we don't want to be with, right? Why am I crying? I'm not crying. Do I look like I'm crying? I'm not crying. I use oil on my face for like my moisturizer, and sometimes my makeup drips, like my mascara drips, because I rub my eyes. So tips for disclosing the very first time a potential partner. I'm scared I'm going to cry during. Don't cry during. I mean, it's okay. I mean, be yourself. If you cry, and you cry. But don't. In disclosing, I want us to realize we didn't do anything wrong. So when we disclose, a lot of times we come at it as like, I sinned, you're perfect. Will you forgive me? Right? And I don't want us to come at it as I sinned, you're perfect. I want it to come at it as like, here's where we're at. I have a sexual past, you have a sexual past. I'm well aware of that. I'm going to be the person that's going to I'm going to have the uncomfortable conversation. I'm going to bring it aware. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about our sexual health. So I want you to lead in that nature. Have I ever been with a woman before? No, I have not. I've only been with men. How can you prevent transmission? So there is no 100% way to prevent transmission. The best ways, number 1 is communication. Number 2 is using protection. Number 3 would be on the antiviral, which is FDA. It's if the FDA say that's the best way. The next I would say would be to take Lysine. And it's going to help you naturally with outbreaks. It's going to naturally help prevent shedding. It's going to naturally help. It doesn't guarantee, it assists. So I would take Lysine. I have it linked in my bio if you are interested. All right, guys, I unfortunately are going to how old was I when I got it? I was 28. Do I have herpes on my eye? I do not have herpes. I have it on my tailbone. So, I was like, I'm like, what's talking? I have music playing. It's just where it has moved. It's relocated itself to its tailbone. It didn't start out there. It's where it's kind of relocated over the years. It travels along our nerves, the virus. So it's like fingers. So let's say my original outbreak started here and it's kind of moved to a certain location. Do I use protection all the time? I never use protection, and my husband does not have it. All right, guys. Hope you're having a great day. I appreciate you joining me. I actually have my annual physical, so I have to run. I don't know why I'm using little bunny hop. Anyways, I hope you have a great day. I'll see you all soon in the next live, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.